And we'll
now.
do,
So,
yeah, do a record.
all right, you're ready to start whenever you want to, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, welcome. We are very excited about tonight's presentation. We're going to talk about trade shows, well, ASD in particular, and how we can leverage trade shows to target them for private label and sourcing opportunities, and to find companies that allow you to private label their products. So we're going to get into the tactics that we use, how we do this for our own business, and we're going to share that with you so you guys can knock it out. Now this is perfect if you're going to the trade show or not. So we'll get into what we call the no-show method, but it's a great little trick. But what you can do is leverage the trade show to build relationships with wholesalers, and it's pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do is, oops, I got to click on this.
Yeah. Guys, there's an abundance of opportunities when selling with wholesale products, whether you're doing it, the arbitrage style, but we're really going to focus in on tonight. We're doing it for private label. And Ryan Rieger is the king of doing this. So we're so lucky to have him on here with us as well and talk you guys through that. So as far as a quick agenda, I love agendas. Abe always makes fun of me, but I make agendas. So obviously we're going to talk about why trade shows can be gold mines for private labeling, and we're going to take you really, we said it right. Did I spell it? Oh, gold mines. We're gold mines. You guys didn't tell me that earlier when I sent this out.
Oh, it's
all right.
fine.
Well, we're going to be gold mines and gold mines. It's a little bit of both. There's a play on word. We're just going to pretend like it was meant that way. So we're going to take you guys through this chronologically. Everything you need for getting registered, as Abe had mentioned, this can be applied to any trade show out there, wholesale trade show, but ASD is one of the largest ones coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So we're going to focus a little bit more on that just because it's very timely. But getting registered, everything that you need to get registered, we've got templates for that and the questions that they ask. So we're going to walk you through that. Abe's going to do some of his fancy data mining techniques to find private label friendly wholesale companies. So he's found a way to go to the ASD website, look through the, 2,500 or so wholesale companies that are listed there or more, and go through them and look for, narrow it down so you can have ones that are better, more likely to be private label friendly. And then once you narrow down that list, we're going to talk you through, how you can contact those suppliers, how you can set up accounts with them. You want to do this all in advance. It's all in preparation for the show. And then we've got some other really great things that you need to know for preparing for the show and getting ready for them. And then finally, we're going to talk you through what you can expect at a trade show. So we've got all the steps laid out there for you, and then we've got a little offer there in the end in ways that this can be done for you. We've done a lot of work in preparation. We do this for ourselves, for our business, so we're happy to share those things. But overall, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So
awesome.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. So what is ASD? Ryan, how do you feel about this?
I have no idea. I'm not even sure. I think it stands for America's Source Direct, but I'm not quite sure. It's a huge trade show, guys. It's twice a year, usually in March and August. I think it might start in July, at the end of July this year, but it's huge. It's at the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's the largest trade show I've ever been to. I'm not sure if it's as big as like the Canton Fair in China, but it's by far the largest one I've ever personally been to. It's just humongous. That's all I can say about that. But you guys can take the tactics and the strategies that Abe and Chrissy are going to talk about tonight and use them whether or not you attend ASD or any trade show, and just know that the tactics he's going through are applicable to about any other trade show. I mean, really any of them. Some of them don't have the same types of websites that ASD does. ASD has a really cool website. You can do searches with suppliers. Not every trade show is exactly like that, but still the methods that Abe is going to show will work at any trade show. But let's say that you just hate going to trade shows and it's just not your thing. Well, you don't have to. Use the trade show no-show method. You guys need to apply, you need to register for ASD, even if you don't want to go, even if you have no desire to go there in a couple weeks. Go ahead and register for it anyway, because you'll get access to all the suppliers, and Abe's going to go through that and show you how to do that and why do that and when. I think that The date's March 3rd, the last day to register for free.
Yeah.
But you can go there and you can register for it. You'll get access to all the suppliers. And let's say you don't go, and you can tell them, hey, I registered for it, but I was unable to make it. But I'm really interested in your line of pet supplies. And your foot is in the door essentially because you registered for it. So register for it even if you have no desire to go to a trade show. And thirdly, private label, the easy way using wholesale products. My goodness, we could do a whole webinar on that, but essentially
we have.
That's true. We have. I did one last night, and then was just on another one with Brett Bartlett just an hour ago. But the easy way method, guys, essentially is just remember the magic question. And this works so well with wholesale companies. If I could boil private label down and just do into a few sentences, because most people think private label as being with the hard way. They think sourcing from China, big containers of products, huge minimums, and that's kind of scary when you're starting out. But with the easy way method, it's literally our biggest supplier for the easy way method is wholesale companies. And where do you find a plethora of wholesale companies all in one place? Well, it's a trade show. So we just use the magic question. We go to a vendor that has generic non-brand driven type products that they're displaying, and we ask the magic question, which is, can I take your products out of their packaging and put it into my own? And I think Chrissy's going to get into that a little bit later. But you can do this at every single vendor that has generic non-brand driven products, and most of them do. Lots of them do. And it just makes it so easy. A wholesale company that you go to at a trade show that you're trying to sell their product on Amazon, some of them might be, well, we don't want our brand on there, or we don't like Amazon, or whatever. You guys have probably heard all that. But if you ask them the magic question, which is, can I take it out of your packaging, put it in my own, then it opens up all these doors for private label, and wholesale suppliers can be your private label suppliers. So is that what you guys wanted me to say?
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thanks. Yeah. So register in advance for the show, guys. The last day to do that is March 3rd in 4 days.
This Friday.
Yeah. So you want to register in advance, whether you're going to the show or not, because once you register, you can access the entire vendor list, and you can begin to search that vendor list to see if you can find wholesalers that are possible private label opportunities. And I'll get into that and show you what I mean by that. So we will also show you what information is necessary and what is not necessary. We're going to show you. We'll give you guys a template of kind of you can organize all of your information on that template. And yes, go ahead.
Abe, do you want to? I've got it pulled up here. If you want me to show it, do you want to switch over screen?
Oh, okay, I didn't know if it was in a slide. It's up to you. I mean, if you want me to, I can stop sharing.
Yeah. I mean, this is informal, right? Why not? We'll show them.
Go ahead. Pull it up.
All right. Oh, I've got to find where I can't.
I stopped sharing, so you're good to go.
Oh, I see. Okay, screen share, and here, and share screen, and.
Steve, there'll be a replay. Absolutely.
Yep.
Brian's recording this.
All right.
That doesn't mean you can leave, though, Steve.
Okay, there we go.
You gotta stick around.
Gotta stay.
That's right.
So
that's the registration sheet. Yep.
Yeah. So actually, whenever I went on to ASD, and this is what because I registered for it, I happened to just copy and paste everything that it asked me. So if you guys are wondering what types of things they're going to ask you, most of the questions are very straightforward. Okay. So you're going to give your name, all of your information, your email, your phone number. What type of store do you represent? You know, they give you an option. They give you a drop down of options. You can choose whichever one you feel comfortable with. I'll just say before we get into all of this, there's no real right or wrong. There's nothing that you can say that is a wrong answer here. How many stores does your company have? I chose 1. Percentage of sales online, 100%. You can choose whatever you guys want or whatever is actually true for your business. I just like to give these because I've had a lot of people contact me with questions and say, what do I say with this? And, oh, do I tell them that I do private label? Should I say that in advance?
Yeah.
Sure, of course you can. Let's see. Yeah, so does your company import merchandise direct from a manufacturer? It can, yes. You can choose what your regions are, minimum order you can meet. You can pick whatever you want, guys. So
this doesn't matter at all. No, they're not going to deny you access for what you put. So
they just want to know so what they can focus on
Right.
you for their
And
profile
it's
for
what's
you.
going to be on your badge. So if you select importer, it's going to say importer. If you select retailer, it's going to say retailer underneath your name.
Yeah, and what they
Yep.
too, now they have a barcode on your badge as well.
Yep.
So when you go into a booth, they scan it and they get all of your information. So they know all your information ahead of time. So opening an account is automatic once you're there.
So, Abe, I'm going to give you back the screen here in just a second, so I'm doing that. But you guys, you can go ahead. I've shut it off. But we can send this out in email to you guys.
Yeah, we'll give you that template. We got a couple of templates for you tonight. So, so that gives you kind of a breakdown of what's, what to expect for information. So you don't have to overthink the process to sign up. It's really very easy. And once you've signed up before, your information's saved. So every time you want to sign up again, it's automatically in the database. They'll send out, you'll be on their email list for an automatic sign up for the next show. Matter of fact, I'm already signed up for the next show 6 months from this one. So
yeah.
I got to click on the screen again. Love this.
Or you can do the down arrow.
So
yeah,
Christy, so this is your spot here, research.
Oh yeah, totally my spot. So.
Oh wait, is this the targeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I don't know.
Sorry, I had to move my pictures.
Got it. All right. So once you're registered, we had already sort of kind of foreshadowed this, but whenever you get to the ASD, when you get on the website, it's a really robust website where you can do a lot of searching, and they have a list of all of the companies there. So the next thing you're looking to do chronologically, once you sign up, you're going to want to find the companies that will allow you to private label their products. So in order to do that, like we said, there's a list. I think we just looked at it. Abe, what was there, like 2,600?
Yeah,
so
I'll show you in a second.
Yeah, you can't possibly go through all of those. So we have a few tips and tricks, mostly what Abe found. And so we're going to take you on through that. And we've got suggested keywords. And then Abe, why don't you just work your magic?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, basically what I figured out now going through, I actually learned this going through Ryan's database that he had in his group. And what I started to notice, and as we had VAs doing this and mining through the list and looking for private label companies, I started to notice a trend that a lot of companies who ended up leading to be private label targets would have similar words in the titles of their company name. So two of these words were imports and trading. A lot of companies with these names in their title, like so-and-so imports or so-and-so trading, whatever, they seem to be more frequently have private label opportunities there. So we started searching based on this, and I'm going to show you navigating the website right now live. So let me just do that real quick and pull.
There's a lot of words. I mean, there's imports and trading, but yeah, I mean, if you
So here's okay. Sorry.
No,
let me just back up so I can walk people through. So when you're on this is the ASD website. You're going to come here. You can sign up, but you click on attendee, and there's registration, and then there's access to the vendor list. There's also a show planner and that sort of thing. But I like going into the vendor list. Now, when you want to start searching with keywords, you want to click on home. For some reason, if you go right to the vendor list, it blocks you for some reason. It doesn't let you do any searches. So you got to click home and then back to attendee, vendor directory, and it'll pull up a massive list of wholesale companies. So as you can see, there's 2,631, and it grows every day. We're on here every day, and it grows every day.
Just a few minutes ago, we were literally doing this before. It was 2629.
Yeah, it's constantly. So companies are constantly registering and getting booths. So what it is, so now you can search by, if you click on only in exhibitor name, you can search by company name. So here's where I start to narrow it down. So I'm just going to write the word imports in here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So not only is this way to kind of, but this also organizes the list. So now it's down to 70 exhibitors. So you put these keywords in for names like imports or trading, and it'll narrow down to 100 or so or less companies that you begin to just click on the names of the company. So what I do is I'll just go down here and click on one of these companies like Day-to-Day Imports. So, and what I do is now you come to this next page, and it gives you the company's website. It tells you the booth number, where they're located at the show. And also, it shows the categories that they sell. This one sells automotive and pet products. And what you do is you begin to see how wholesale companies actually list the categories they sell in. Like, it's not like Amazon. So if you go to search home and kitchen, or if you try to search for a particular product, you're not going to get any results. You want to search things like homewares, kitchenware, automotive, pet products, right? So as you're looking at the company names, take a note of how they list their category names. So then you can also do a search by category, because they'll lock into keywords here, how they list them here. So what I'm going to do is just click on the website, and what I do is just give a quick glance at the website, and I'm looking for two things. One, are their products generic, non-brand driven? So it could be a good idea to private label. And also, I want to know what their products are, because later when I send them a template email or call them, I want to say, hey, I'm really interested in your product, this. You want to probably know what they sell before you call them and talk to them about their products that you love so much, right? Okay, so I'm just going to, they have pet products here. They have auto products. Let's click on a pet harness. Whether that is a great product or not, I don't know. But as you can see, they're all generic. Cat, dog, comfort, travel, whatever, right? That's not a brand. There's no brand on these. And this is actually, to be honest, this is actually a company that I have called and spoke to them, and they do private label their products. But there are tons of these, But what I do is I come here and look, okay, is this generic, non-brand driven? Yes. Well, then it goes into a list, a call list, right? So I'm getting ready to go to the show, and then this is when they go into the call list where I'm going to contact the supplier, tell them I'm going to be at the show, and, Christy can talk about that in a little bit because she's made a ton of calls in the last few weeks. It's just amazing how many companies we've been able to find. So it's pretty cool. So that is pretty much how I go dig through a wholesale list to search for private label companies who potentially will private label their items. Let's go back.
Check it out, guys. It's imports and trading. Those are two really good words. And you'll end up, we're not saying all of them, but we're saying we are narrowing down the 2,600 down to a smaller amount. What was this? Was it like 100 on this?
Yeah. So every time you search through a keyword, you're going to narrow down the list a little bit. So now, even if I don't select exhibitor name, and I want to just select a category, let's say kitchenware. I think that's how they say it. Kitchenware with my fast typing. Okay. And I'm going to hit. I don't want to hit exhibitor name. So just in general, such kitchenware. And see now, sorry. Now it narrows it down to 133 exhibitors, right? So it kind of narrows down every time for whatever. So you can click on let's just click on the first one. I have no idea. Don't know this company, but it says general merchandise, how it says housewares, kitchenware, tabletop, small appliances, pet products, right? That's how they list their categories. So let's just click on this first one, and you can see again. Look, generic, non-brand driven products, rainbow markers, right? These are all generic, not brand. It just said food storage containers. Okay. So just by that couple of pass-through pictures right there, this is going to go on my list. They do have some brand items, but they have some that aren't branded. So this is going to go on my list, and I'm going to call them and see if I could put my own brand label on their products, right? So 2 for 2. And that one is one I don't know. So put that on the list, Christy, will you? So, okay.
I actually already have that one, but yeah.
Oh, you do have it. Okay, you're ahead of me then. All right, yeah. So let me go back to the PowerPoint here. Okay, so oops, started from beginning. Where was I? All right, so here is our template. This is the template that Christy or I call companies. This is how we put it in: company name, We want to know where they are located in the United States, because if they're in California, shipping costs are going to be more than if they're in, Tennessee or New York, because we're in the Northeast, right? So we list their website and their booth number. That's important. You want to know where they are located at the show, all right? What types of products they sell. So we list the categories that we sell, so we know how to search for the categories. Did they confirm verbally on the phone whether they can private label or not? We list minimum order quantities, and then we ask them if they have their own private label arm, which is, will they do all the work for us, right? I know that's the scary question that people may not want to ask, but we want to know if they will, private label if they have a private label program that they could use.
That's a great question to ask, because look, hey, to test your product out, you may not want to have them do it because the minimums might be high. But let's say that you get a product going and it's going well, and you're tired of switching out the packaging yourself, and it's working for you. You're willing to do 100 or 500, even 1,000 units if they do the work. I think that's totally fine. You may not start out there and have them do that, but it's a good question to know in advance.
Yeah, and I would say, as I've been going through and calling, just going through these exact same steps that Abe just mentioned, and going through, and I'm calling. I'm a call person. We have an email template to show you, but I do ask this. Do you have your own private label arm? And I would say about 50% of them, maybe a little bit less than that, 40 to 50%. Have said yes, or that they could do that for me. They do have very high minimums, so you're not going to, you're looking at ordering, 500, it's either a really high dollar amount, or you're looking at like 1,000 units or something like that. So it's not something that you want to start with, but it's a really good thing to know that if you've got a solid product that you're working on, just like Ryan said, you're done doing all that heavy work, you've proven that it's a product and you want to move on, it's nice that has a built-in option for you to take it to that next level already.
Yep.
So I think we covered this.
Yeah, so we just covered this. So yeah, you would just call them and ask Ryan's magic question. Can I put your product into my own branded packaging, and some form of that, right? Yeah. So we just kind of covered all that. And here is an email template. If you don't like to call suppliers, I think that's much more effective, because when you call them, you could say Christy could speak about the conversation of when you call. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are welcome to use this, and it's a variation. I know Ryan has one. We all sort of have our own little templates that we use. So first of all, I just call them and I introduce myself. I say, I call and I usually get some sort of reception, so it's not the right person to talk to. And I say, my name's Christy. I found your company name on the ASD website. I have a question about one of your products. Are you the right person to talk to? And they're like, oh, no, let me go, no. So then they transfer me over to someone else. I reintroduce myself, say I found them from the website, or from the ASD website. And I said, I have a question. And of course, I've been on the website, as Abe mentioned before, and I know what products they have. If they have like a pet product, or if they have a home and kitchen product, or if they have an automotive product. I've looked up something, and it doesn't matter what it is, and I find a specific product, and I say, I am interested in these bamboo sheets. My question is, I have my own brand line. I'm a seller. I have my own brand line, and I would like to take these sheets, your bamboo sheets, and take it out of its packaging, and I want to put it in mine because I have my own brand line. I want to be very clear with you up front. More often than not, they say, yeah, we don't really care. As long as you buy it from us, we're okay. And a lot of times I think it's their own private label product that they're getting from overseas. So they're doing the hard work for you. They're going over to the manufacturers overseas. They're creating their own brand, just making it a generic brand, and then they're allowing anyone else to use it after that. Not all the times, but some of the times that ends up being the case. But what I love, so you can get all of that, a lot of that, by using this email template. What I like to do is I like to have a conversation with them, because not only can I get some of that information, but I also have the opportunity to ask them a couple of additional questions. So one question I always ask is, obviously I'm really into your bedding, or the sheets, or all of your bamboo products, or whatever it is that I've asked them about. And I said, can you tell me what else is selling really well? Is there anything else? Because I sell a lot of things, and this is just one thing that caught my eye. I was I was looking for, a bedding line or something, but I really do sell a lot of other things. What sells really well? What are people asking for? What are some of your new products? So it gives me that opportunity to open that
awesome.
dialogue. And they're usually like, oh, well, you know, we got this, or, oh, people really love that. Or, you know, sometimes they'll just say, listen, I've got a couple of clients that order a bunch of different things I really couldn't tell you. Sometimes you just don't have the right person on the phone to ask to answer that, but a lot of times you do. So I ask them what they recommend, and then I also, of course, I've already let them know that I'm going to be at ASD. So I said, you know, I'll be at ASD. Are you going to be there? Will you be there? Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Or, oh, no, you know, my boss or some, you know, my coworker or somebody else is going to be there. Okay, great. Well, I'd love to. Can you transfer me? I'd love to. I'm going to be there. I want to make a point to stop by your booth. I'd love to speak with whoever that is and introduce myself before I get there, or if it's them. And then as soon as I get them on the phone, or if it's the same person, I say, well, you know, are you going to be running any specials at ASD? You know, I'm going to be there. I'm going to stop by. I'm noticing on your website that, you know, minimum opening order is $300 or something. Do you cut that down, or what sort of deals are you running? So I get to ask all these additional questions. So some people may not be like me. That's totally fine. You can do this back and forth in a lot of different emails. Abe and I think, have found that when you send an email and you put all 10 of these questions all in one email, you're not usually going to get a really great response, if you get a response at all. So it's a lot easier to get this very quickly, and I've built a relationship with them, and they know to expect me. And I say, you know what, I'm going to be there on Monday. I'm going to make sure Monday is the day that I stop by your booth. So, you know, those are a lot of the things that you can say, but the whole point of this, right? So we've registered for ASD. We've now narrowed our list of, we're focusing on the private label, the wholesale companies that are private label friendly, and now we're registering with them in advance. So I'm going to set up an account with them. They said, okay, great. Yes, you can private label our products. You can do whatever you want. You can put it in your package. Fantastic. Now I have a list of companies that I can look through all of their catalogs. Okay, send me your catalog. So I can know all of this in advance. So I'm very prepared when I walk into that. But even if, like we do the no-show trade show, if you're not going to be there, you still have all of that. You can still look through the catalog. You can still ask them for the specials, and they'll honor that. So
yeah. If I could jump in here, that's exactly right. Like, you don't have to be at the show to do this. Right. This is all happening before you get to the show. So you just pretend that you're going to the show, and then, oops, my kids got sick, or, you know, my flight got canceled, or who knows what happened, but you just couldn't make it. No big deal. But you've still already built that relationship. You know, and the show's so big, you know, they don't really, unless you book a specific appointment, they're not really going to know. But you can already be ordering products before the show, you know. So you know, you have that opportunity too. So it doesn't matter whether you do this, whether you attend or not. That's a great tip. And when you're sending emails, usually asking all those questions that Christy has asked in one call, you're gonna have to do that over several emails, right? So the first is the general email that goes, like, if you ask all those questions in the first email, they're usually gonna ask you a million questions about your business and want all the documents and everything first. You know, if you ask just a simple template email like this, then you'll have to go into an email sequence back and forth with them, asking them those questions. But a live call, much quicker.
Abe, I was going to quickly show them the template of information that I put all of my information, because when you register, so you've had the phone call with them, but now they're like, okay, great, sign up. We need to have all of your information to get you in our system. So what I've done.
Pull it up.
Yeah. All right. Let's share screen here. All right. So what I've done is I fill out all of my information in advance. This is for me. So, you know, I put my company name. You want to make sure that this is not your Amazon name. How Amazon knows you is not the same name as what you're doing here.
This is sorry if I jump in. This is all the information that at some point you may, or, you know, this is like over many companies we've been asked these questions. You know, some companies only ask like some of these questions, some don't. You know, just a resale number is all you need to give them. I usually send that out in the template email with my business information, and usually you're in, right? But some come back and want a copy of your EIN, or they want to know your website, you know, things like that. And depending on how deep they want to dig in, you know, you can decide whether or not you want to, you know, proceed with opening an account. I mean, if they're asking too much and it seems like there's a brick wall there, you know, just move on to another company. But at least this organizes all of your information, so you have it available to send back an email real quick. Instead of like me, my desk's a mess, and I like have to like rummage through papers to find my resale certificate and remember the number. So it's just great to have all this stuff in one template in one place. Go ahead, Christy.
Yeah, this is not necessarily what you send to them. This is for your records to be able to quickly copy and paste and put it all in one place. And sometimes you just register on their website as well, so it doesn't always have to be done by email. But this is something else that we can send you guys. Just it's a good thing to have just as a template for yourself. So I'm going to stop sharing. We're going to give it back to you.
Right back. Okay.
Take it over.
Okay, so next, so sourcing, this is one of my strategies that I do, which is extremely powerful, which is sourcing products before the show. So what I do is I show up to ASD with a shopping list, a ton of leads that when I walk around the show, I know this is the products that I'm looking for. So, you guys know, maybe familiar with data mining method that I use. So that's what I do. I source through Amazon, and I build a bunch of targets that I could go and source at the show. And these could be bundles, these could be private labels, these could be niches that I'm looking for products in. But I show up with a list. And that's just one way to do it. And so you could also, grab some of these wholesale lists that you find when you call them. And if, say, they send you a list of their products, you could start to, go through these catalogs and, be ready to order some of these products when you go there and speak to these wholesalers, But you can search through these products ahead of time. And also be prepared to source products during the show, right? So as you're walking through the show, have a notebook with you. Start to write down product opportunities you may see. You may go into the booth and be like, oh, wow, that looks cool. Write that down. When you're back at your hotel room that night, start data mining that information. Look it up on Amazon. See what you can do with it. See how you can bundle it. Look for those types of options. You're at the show, make the most out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So here is actually, this is a big slide. This is my action.
You're like, make it gigantic.
Well, it was big. Okay, well, there's a lot on there. Sorry. This is my shopping list. So this is the exact template that I use to build out a shopping list and products. And I search everything through keywords. So everything in the green in my Go category, those are all gaps in the market. Those are all leads, right? Those are product targets. But behind each one of those targets are several other products, bundling opportunities, product ideas. So I have, I just category Amazon first page. I pick possible private label targets, bundling options. I find all my related keywords, and I do my market research. So I kind of do this all beforehand. So I have specific targets when I go to the show.
That is not that I don't know what that list looked like to you guys, but that was a ridiculous amount of work on Abe's behalf. I mean, he's gotten really fast at it, but still, that was like blood, sweat, and tears going into that to figure out, these targets where there are gaps in the market that say this would be a really good product to private label. This concept right here is a really good product. We looked at pet harnesses. That's not on the list, but if Abe does this research and he comes up and he says, okay, maybe pet harnesses are really good products, then he knows I'm going to go to a ton of different booths that sell pet harnesses, and he's going to look to try to private label those. Yeah. So that's just an example of, it's kind of blurred out, but that's the type of thing. I had to blur it out because I didn't want to give away my, all my private label finds on live, right? But basically, I look at it like this. Behind every keyword that I find, any keyword you find and type into the Amazon search bar comes up to a product page, right? And there's 16 or 24 products on that product page. Behind each one of those products is an Amazon listing, and in every Amazon listing is a number of different leads to products frequently bought together. Customers who bought this also bought. You can find customer buying trends and see how customers actually shop and what else do they buy with items. You have the scroll that says, sponsored products, right? Other sponsored products. Well, those are other private label products. How are they selling their product? How are they bundling? What other products are related to it that are also private label, right? Between all the products on the first page, what is commonly frequently bought together?
which is a perfect complementary item, or what can be used with the item. So behind every keyword is just a massive amount of targets, right? So that's what the list is. It's not just one specific product. It's exponential from what you consider. This is why I love sourcing through search terms, and I'm starting to geek out over this, I know. But it's reversed from the product. It's so reversed from product driven. Keywords are fantastic because the opportunities are just ridiculous, you know. So
guys, I could just tell you when Abe, because I mean, this is what he's like, but I'm like, hey, Abe, I've got a quick question, and so we like hop on a screen share or whatever, and I'm like, what about this? And so he just goes and goes, and like 30 minutes later, he's found like 4 different products, and he's just so excited, and he's so like above, like beyond the moon, above the moon, over the moon.
Keywords are game changing. Once you retrain your mind and refocus on search terms and focusing on gaps, the potential for product ideas are just it's really endless. I mean, you know, you can come up with so many, and if you combine this with market research, like the competitive and demand test, and you do this, you collect the keywords, all the relevant keywords to your target. Like you find a gap and you find, you know, 5 or 10 relevant keywords to that space. Run the competitive demand tests on all of those pages and take an average of competitive and demand. And if those work within your numbers, you've just laser focused in on a gold mine, you know. So start sourcing products, start building products into that space, whether it's a private label, a bundle, combination of both. It's just endless. I could probably go all night. That's probably another webinar.
He really could, guys. He really could,
Okay.
and he has. It's crazy.
All right, I'm sorry. Let's talk about business cards now.
Oh, this is so boring to compare to. Oh my gosh, I'll fly through this, guys. These are just really practical stuff. If you were actually going to a trade show, any trade show, you need some business cards. They don't have to be fancy. What I have on mine when I'm going around for buying is put something like senior buyer on it. A lot of the bigger companies have buyer. They have whole purchasing departments, and the people that are in those departments are called buyers. So if you call yourself a senior buyer, it just makes you look bigger than you really are. Of course, book your travel in the hotel. The Trade Show app is awesome. Also, Abe, I was answering questions. I don't know if you answered or talked about this, but did you mention adding these items to the planning, the trade show planner for ASD, where if they have 20 different ones they want to visit, you add it to the planner and it will sort it based on where they are in the convention center?
As far as the products or the vendors?
The vendor booths.
Yeah, you could add the vendor booths to the planner and definitely find out.
I didn't know. I didn't want to. I was answering questions, so I didn't know if you already talked about that.
No, we didn't talk about it, but we talked about tracking the booth numbers so you know the locations of them. Yeah, you can put that in the planner.
If you put it in the planner, guys, then the ASD website will sort the booths based on where they are. Because ASD, I'm telling you, you've not been there. It's so huge. You don't want to go from booth number 3 to 3,000, and then back to number 500, and it's just tons of walking. So because there's tons of walking, wear comfortable shoes. Have a cell phone battery backup, because if you're going around and you're scanning barcodes, it'll drain your battery. Bring a notebook or a pen, or use your phone to take notes on the conversations that you have with folks. Definitely bring a bag to collect samples, or a lot of times some of the booths will have them there, and they'll give you free bags that they have, but they're just not very big. You'll gather tons of stuff, so have something to put those in, and then have your tax ID handy, just your resale tax certificate number for your state. So that's my checklist, and then next is my wife's checklist, which is over.
Maybe you gotta click.
I did. I clicked.
There you go. So my wife's name is. My wife's Melaine, and so she is a girly girl, and so she gets cold when they have the trade shows are big, and so there's lots of people, so they turn the air conditioning way down. So one of her things is a sweater. She likes to have a rolling case, which of course I'm the one that's rolling it around. That's my job.
You're like, yes, dear.
That's my job. Band-aids for the back of ankles, so that's not for the men.
It's true. I keep them with me at all times. I'm just saying. Lane and I are on the same page here.
Yeah, and then the last is snacks and water. There is food there, but it's pretty pricey.
Yeah.
And it's just bring stuff. Definitely have your water and have some snacks to munch on in between. the booth. So, guys, I know that's the practical, boring stuff, but you don't want to
But it's
forget. Oh,
important
this
things,
is the map. This is huge.
Yeah.
This is how big it is.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I usually start in either the south upper or the lower. Usually the upper, because that's where a lot of closeouts and stuff are, and a lot of companies that are totally fine with private label the easy way are on the south upper, which is on the right hand side of this page. You can read this yourself. I don't want to go through each of them, but just it's tons and tons of walking, tons and tons of booths. It can be so overwhelming. So what they're teaching tonight is gold, because you're going to go in with a plan. You're not going to go there and just be like eyes wide open, not know where to start. With having a plan, it's going to make you more efficient. You're going to get through it quicker. It's just going to be better for your business, because you're going to know exactly who you're meeting, and it'll save you tons of time. So.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's just millions of product sourcing opportunities at this. I mean, even when you saw on the left side there is Source Direct. My first time at the show, that's where we started, because that's all overseas suppliers, China, India, Taiwan, I mean, you name it, Pakistan. And those vendors are so easy to talk to. You pretty much walk by their booths, and they come out into the aisle and be like, hey, come here, come check out my products. So if you want to break the ice, I mean, you could just start there. So those are overseas sources. And then, yes, you have closeouts and liquidation. You have wholesale companies. You have, there's a smoke shop if you're into that. I mean, it's just a massive show. So much walking. I mean, you could be there every day and not hit every corner of it. So, do
either of you guys have a Fitbit? I have my Fitbit, and I have like major goals for this. I didn't have one before, but I'm betting on like 20,000 steps minimum, and bring your Fitbit.
No, I don't have one. I don't like to discourage myself on a daily basis. Hey, you spun in your chair 5 times today. Good job, buddy. So I mean, so the booth runs show specials as well. Like as Christy mentioned, when you call your vendors, you can ask them about that. Mostly all of them offer show specials. If you placed orders there, it'll be at a higher discount, lower minimum order quantities. And at the end of the show, you can bid on booths. We actually negotiated a couple. We didn't buy, but we tried to some of the booths that we liked, especially if it's tons of like generic non-branded items or something. You can actually buy an entire booth at the show for really discounted prices. There's one guy there every year who pulls up with like 10 tractor trailer trucks and buys every booth that he can. It's unbelievable. So the other thing too is this show is, other than just product sourcing, it's networking on a massive scale. I mean, 50,000 resellers are there, I mean, there's just you see everybody who is everybody on Facebook, and man, if you know people on Facebook and they're going to the show with you, connect with these people and walk around. There is nothing more powerful than going around with like, a 2, 3, 4, 5 person team, walking into a booth and saying, hey, we're all business owners, let's do business, let's talk. Or walking into a booth and talking to you spread out, one of you finds a good wholesaler who will private label their items, and you say, hey, I'm here with several business owners in my network, how would you like some more business? You make a phone call, 5 people or more walk into the booth. Now you've just delivered value to the vendor. Now you're giving him business, right? Not only is he going to remember you, but you could probably ask any question you want, So leveraging your network is extremely powerful. It really is. Okay, so now we're going to get to our offer here, which is, when we started this, we really had no idea what it was going to turn into. And I couldn't be more proud of like how we've laid this thing out. So Christy has built her list of pre-made private friendly wholesale companies. I put together, now you saw a list that I showed you of my targeted leads. Well, I put that list together, and we have put that into, we have put these all the templates and all these lists into a private Facebook group. So
very private. Facebook group.
Yeah, private Facebook group, and we basically building our network in this group. So these are all people that are going to be. Some people are out at the show. Some people can't make the show, and they're just here to learn how to find wholesale companies, and that's fine because most of this is before the show. So we're also doing a webinar tomorrow night.
What everybody's asking about, Abe. Everybody's asking about your data. You got so excited and you got into all this detail about the data mining webinar.
You can hear it. You can hear it because guess what? Tomorrow night, I'm going to walk through the latest and greatest of the data mining strategy, how I do it. So not only have we built lists for you, right? So Christy, and I'm a little thrown off because I'm trying to follow the organization of Christy here, but I'm all over the place. So I may just freestyle and just go crazy here, but. So she's built that was her task to build out the wholesale companies, call them. We verbally confirmed that they private label their products. We put them in the list. They're in the Facebook group. I have been data mining like a madman, building out a list. Right now there's 30 leads. And if you saw my template, there's 20 more on that I haven't even released yet because I'm saving that for a special day in the next couple days. And so, that is my ASD shopping list, and I'm sharing that with everybody in the Facebook group.
It's in the file. Awesome. You can start to compare those items to the wholesale list, and everyone we teach you how to build the wholesale list.
Yes. So
and tomorrow night, HPC going over the webinar, is talking about how he built his shopping list. And guys, I'm pretty sure I'm like the second person ever to know this technique because you just started rolling this out. And so everyone, I think even Ryan here included, has not seen some of these new techniques that he's doing. So
so that's exactly it. In the webinar, we not only do we giving you the list, but we're going to teach you how to build it. So you can do this forever on your own at the next show, at the next 20 shows, whatever, right? But you'll learn the exact techniques we use to build these lists. So it's not just not just done for you, but we want to give you the tools to just nail this, right? So that's what the webinar is. We're going to train you exactly how to do it. Show you whatever new techniques I have, things that I've everything. If I add something tomorrow morning, it'll be in the webinar. Okay. So Abe
talking about what we haven't in other data mining. What you're going to do is when you get to ASD, and so say you walk by a booth and you see that there's a product there that maybe isn't on your shopping list. What do you do? How do you handle that?
Yeah. How do you data mine it? And a woman, my friend Excel Lou in our group, she asked, like, well, you know what if I already have a product idea, right? How can I find keywords for it? How can I data mine that? And I said, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. So we've been able to plug that. Yeah, we've been able to plug that piece in as well. So whether you walk by a booth and see a product target, you'll know how to turn it into keyword information and gaps. Right? If you want to start with keywords beforehand and targets, you have my list, but you can build your own because I'm going to show you how to do it. The other thing, too, is that we have an incredible live networking event for people that are attending the show. It's going to be Monday night at the Stratosphere, 7 to 10. There's going to be food, cash bar. You get a wristband for all the rides on the roof if you really want to get crazy, which I'll probably do.
If you're going to have the cash bar, do that after you arrive.
Everybody in the group and everybody in our network, actually, so we have a large network of people we've met in this business over time. We're all going to be at this networking event that we put together so everybody can meet up, share tactics, share ideas, ask questions, whatever, have a good time. It doesn't matter. So that's our live networking event. Now, if you're not attending the show, and you're in the group just for all the webinar and the training and the lists and that's fine. You don't have to go to the networking event, and actually we'll refund you the price of a ticket. So yes, you also get access to both of my previous data mining webinars, and Christie's 4 weeks to $100 webinars. There's also tons of bonus content in there, other webinars that I've done on like bundling. We have a lot of video training that I've done over a period of time. We have templates. Yes, we
Valley.
have Anthony Bowie Tran, our good friend and partner, has given everybody access to his brand new Zally software. It's kind of like a reseller how many combination software for arbitrage and wholesale sourcing.
Really
It's
cool.
fantastic, and everybody gets that free for life for joining the group.
Wow.
So, is there anything
Yeah.
you want to add, Christine?
I feel like I had something and then I got distracted. So no, not at the moment. But yeah,
Okay.
you covered it. I mean, so we've
So
got a ton of things.
so that's it.
I
I mean,
really put my phrase, my fishing analogy, but I always get it wrong, right?
yeah, please. Do that.
Don't do that? Okay.
Yeah,
Just to teach a man to fish or give
you
a
can
man
give
a
a man a
fish.
fish
I
or
always
teach
go
him
through
to
it every
fish. Right?
time.
Yes, we're running fishing classes. This is what we're doing.
Oh my
We
gosh.
are. That's
Yeah,
the other thing.
no.
That's the bonus concept, fishing.
Yes.
I
So
butcher it every time.
okay, yeah. So that's it. That's the Facebook group, and so the price for this is $297. I think I mean, if I don't say so myself, for me, this is really undervalued. We're at like $10 a private label target lead.
Which
Plus
is
everything
absurd.
else, yeah. Plus everything, everything else, training. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And if you're not going to Vegas, we'll refund you $50 for the price of the ticket to the live network event, because that network event was not cheap. So we have, it's price per head kind of thing. So, and we do have a limit as to how many people in the networking event. So we do have to like shut down that event at a certain point. But the webinar, that's wide open. The Facebook group is wide open. So we probably do have to cap it at a certain point, though, just to make it fair for everybody, because we can't saturate our list and things like that. So we do have a number in mind that we will have to just close the registration. So guys, join us. This is new stuff. This is niche stuff. Like, nobody is doing anything like this. I mean, we're targeting the show in a way that I wish someone had given me this.
Yeah.
I said, okay, what is missing from my ASD experience? Well, you know what?
Mhm.
Tell me exactly what to find. Tell me exactly how to find wholesalers, right? Give me all kinds of free stuff. Build a networking event. This is like we built our dream trip to ASD here.
We basically did.
And but the main thing is we want to do this again.
Mhm.
So we want to just blow this out and over deliver for everybody, and just have everybody find tons of success, and just completely use this experience, whether you're going or not, to just crush it in private label. I mean, that's really what we want to do. If anyone knows me, you know that I really don't hold anything back. And I definitely love success stories. I love people using some of my ideas and having success. That's why I coach. That's why I do things like that. That's why you see me post in the mentoring group and all that stuff. So, guys, this is good stuff, and I really hope some of the people on this. I know we have people on the webinar that are already in the group, but really, guys, yeah, join us on this journey. This is awesome stuff. I love it.
I mean, we're talking whether you're able to actually go to ASD, whether you're actually able to attend, whether you will be in Vegas or not. We're talking, this is 3 weeks from today.
Right.
3 weeks from today, and everything could change. You could open up a whole new line if you're not already selling wholesale products, and even if you are, you could opening up a whole new line of private label products, because all you have to do is follow the templates. What we already gave you in this free webinar is, this is what you need to say, this is what you need to contact, this is who you need to contact, this is how you can find them. We've just done it for you in this group to make it that much easier. So you get this list, whether or not you go to Vegas. You get the wholesale list, you get the list of finds, so you can just go through catalogs if you're not able to make it. And you can call the companies and you can do all of this yourself. You don't have to show up. But if you want to, and you can do the networking, we can't, I said this before, where I spent the first, I don't know, probably year of this business where I was on every Facebook group and I didn't say a word to anyone. I didn't know anyone. I stayed in my little circle. I ran into 1 or 2 people who were near in the Boston area, and Abe happened to be close by. So I had 3 people that I knew in all this business. They happened to be local to me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I just started reaching out and networking and sharing, and Ryan plucked me out of the middle of nowhere whenever I shared my success story. But that forever changed me, because every time I meet someone new and every time I network with someone, I learn something, I gain there's always value to be made. And so not only are you making connections with the people, the wholesale reps, but you're also meeting everybody else in this business, everybody else who knows a little bit of something, who has a niche over here, who can teach you a little bit about this, and, you know, writing templates, anything that you don't have. So networking just, just incredible. So you have to look at it from that perspective. So
hey guys, I just want to jump in and say the confusion with the sales page, because I did the walkthrough and we already sold that out, so that's why I put it at the bottom of the page. So guys, basically the walkthrough that I'm doing is sold out. That sold out really quickly just in my mentoring program. So but what Abe and Christy are doing tonight, there's no limit other than the networking event on Monday night. So just ignore the sold out. The sold out sign on the website is for my walkthrough, and not this offer right here.
Yeah.
So,
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I also wanted to say too, guys, that this is even if you have no desire to go to ASD is not on your plan. You don't ever want to go. You hate trade shows, whatever. What they're going to teach and what they are teaching is valuable stuff that you can use at any trade show. And you can use the no-show method. If you want to find suppliers very, very easily, this is an option for you. They gave you some incredible content for free on this webinar. A lot of you probably know enough about private label and are in my program and can take off from what they just, the content on this webinar was so valuable that you could take off and do what you need to do with it. But for those of you that just want to make it easier, that want to have a pre-made list, that don't have time to do all the research, this is an incredible offer. So
thanks. And so this is I'll tell you, and we'll both be at the show. We're going to meet up, and what Christy was saying about networking is really powerful. I had a really good friend of mine, Adrian Friday, take me around to my first show, and he's going to join us tomorrow night on the webinar in the group. And I'm very thankful he's going to be doing that, because he's just a wealth of knowledge about ASD. So, and that's the other thing about the group. We bring in other experts too, because we know we're not the smartest people, just like Ryan says all the time. But yeah, we're gonna, it's also a chance to build a really solid network with some really amazing people. So we're really excited about this event. But yep, so guys, that's the offer. Can't say enough about it, and but we have to stop talking about it at some point. So, guys, I really want you guys to ask some questions. Christy, go ahead. You get something to say? Yep.
No, I was just going to say that the webinar that we've been talking about and that you sort of went into is going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern time. 8 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to go into all of that detail. So that will be tomorrow. Tomorrow.
And it will be recorded too. Actually, everybody. The Facebook group will explode on April 15th, only because it's going to be getting close to the next ASD. We're going to keep it open for a few weeks after the show, so we can still ask questions and refine things. But everybody's going to get all the content in the group emailed to them. So you can take that with you forever. We really want you guys to succeed. I'm just going to go ahead and push it to question and answer. So if you got any questions for us, we'd love to hear it.
So Christy and I were answering a ton while you were talking. Let's see if there's anything else I want to get your opinion on. There's no unanswered questions.
All right.
I don't think so. Yeah, we've been kind of going through them back
good.
and forth.
We knocked it out in an hour, which is rare for me.
Oh, Carol wants to know, is the course / Facebook group ongoing or limited to this ASD show?
It is a closed group, limited to, it's about this show, trade shows in general, but like I said, we are talking about data mining in there. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Christie's promotional methods in there. We're talking about bundling. Mm-hmm. Anyone who asks me a question, I'm going to give you the answer or show you how to do it. A lot of times someone brings up a question and I'll answer it live, or I'll do a screen record video, and I'll walk people through the process. So, we're just over delivering on every level, whatever that takes,
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just for that one, so April 15th. So it is a temporary group. It is a temporary Facebook group. It will end on April 15th, but all of the content and all the files that are in there, you will get those so that you can keep them forever. It's just the group will shut down because it's really based around this event and planning everything around this particular ASD event that's happening on March 19th, 22nd.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we also have Christy and I run Seller Tradecraft, and we could always take it over into that free group after, so we can just continue the information. Have to dial down the intensity of the sharing, but yeah, and also you guys are in privately mentoring group, and we're both in there, so there's plenty of places to contact us.
Yes, Audrey, I'm looking at this newbies for the second ASD. So our plan is to do this in the future because ASD happens twice a year. It happens in the spring and it happens in the fall. I think it's the first week of maybe August.
Yeah,
1st.
I'm going to be honest with you though. I'm going to be totally honest that this was a lot of work. This took a lot of time, and we will not be doing it at 297 again. Even if 10 people. Even if 10 people join us next time, I mean, the value is just insane. I mean, I remember first time showing the list to Christy, and she was like, okay, wait a minute. Are we ordering all these? Because she was like, no, seriously, can we talk about this? Because I want to order 1 through 10 right now. I was like, no, we're giving them to the group. We can't order our own product. Well, I guess we could.
That's
No,
awesome.
I mean, that wasn't my intention. It was just.
Yeah, no, I know. It was. We were laughing about it. You knew I was posting it, but she was just like, "Are you kidding me right now?" She's like, "I can go through this list all day." So.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'll just come up with another 10 because the data mining king himself can do that in 2 hours."
Well, it's the other thing too is, man, I'm not posting junk leads. I would never do that. They get X'd out if and I even recheck the data too and make sure it's all over a couple of days, make sure everything's good. But I'm giving everybody targets that I would buy myself and Christy would buy and whatever.
Absolutely.
We would jump on all of these for sure. So I'm not, there's I don't want a reputation of somebody who just drops, junk information into a list and tries to sell it. That's just not going to happen.
Right. That's awesome. Cool. I just updated the page a little bit. I made the reserve your spot a little bit more easy to see.
Okay.
So, guys, you did an awesome job.
All right. Well, I hope so.
Susie, how do I connect with your Facebook group? Oh, you're talking about Seller Tradecraft? It has to be. Yeah, you could just join that one. Seller Tradecraft is the group that Abe and I have as well. I think that's your question. Seller.
Yeah, Seller Tradecraft's wide open. If you do a Facebook search, Seller Tradecraft, you'll find it.
Yep. Guys, we just hit the hour. We're 3 minutes past.
Yeah, we're rocking through this. A quick one. If you guys, please, ask me anything, really.
Ask me. Come on. Wait, do the hand thing.
Alex wanted to know, aside from this course, is there further coaching, mentoring we can get from Ryan, Abe, or Christy? Well, these guys are two of my leaders in the private label, the Easy Way mentoring program, which Jim Cockrum just promoted it, called it Proven Private Label 2.0. They're in there. That's an option. We're not promoting that tonight, but if you just go to provenprivatelabel.com, you can check that out. Abe does do coaching through Jim Cockrum's coaching program. Christy's got 4 weeks and $100 workshops. Those are still actually available. You can still order those. Her workshops going through promotional companies to find sources for the private label. Is that anything else you guys are working on that I don't know about?
Nothing being released. Nothing being released yet. But I don't even know how many projects.
We're always working on things.
Yeah, we have all kinds of stuff.
Promotional items. I'm really excited to go to the trade show and see what the promotional items are being given away. Because I'm expecting to walk away with a couple of good ideas for that, just for my method on promotional items. Just seeing what's there, because a lot of times all it takes is for me to just see it and know it. So I'm really excited to see what's out there and what's going to be new, what the trade shows are just giving away, like the bags that we talked about that you had mentioned. I think there's going to be some cool stuff there, so I expect to find some good ideas.
Abe Robert wants to know, he says, is this training as close to having you as a mentor in that we learn exactly how you source? Like if aside from paying you to be a coach, to be my coach would be the best way, getting into this ASD mining group, the closest I can come to learning your methods.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I've posted posts in the mentoring group, where I've kind of written down, simpler workflows. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, I don't hold anything back. I have no problem showing people exactly how I do it. I'm not gonna show you a watered down version of it. Like I'll show you exactly how I do it, like my exact steps. Like I know I do it really well. I've been doing it for a long time. So I have no problem sharing that because, and I get this question a lot, like, why would you show someone that? Well, it's so much, if I could do my own method and be quiet here in my office and launch products, that's wonderful. But if I can show someone to do it and they are successful and they have some success story and people use my method to have success for their business, not only is that extremely rewarding for me, but it's also just values, it values and kind of, lets me know that I'm doing something right. I want to contribute to something bigger than myself, right? So that's why I coach. That's why I'm in the mentoring group. That's why I teach. That's why we do webinars. That's why we do all this content creation, So, I mean, you get it all from me.
Yeah. Oh. And what we put together and what we're working on, so Abe's a freestyler type, and I am a process step-by-step type, which is why he speaks and then I do all of the, except my misspellings, but I create, the PowerPoints and things. But when for the webinar tomorrow night, I've basically we've been working together on a document that is a step-by-step how you can do, basically data mining. Step 1, start here. Step 2, look for this. Step 3, look for this. So we've really tried to break it down in it's simple. It's not a simple thing to do. It's advanced strategies, but it can be simple if you break it down into each little section and understand each one of those. So we've been working together. So that is going to be a really awesome document that's going to come along with the webinar that Abe's going to teach tomorrow night.
Yes, and I really like to train people to see the big picture, which is why it's so hard for me to make a step-by-step list. But I have to make Christy happy. I get really fine. Yeah. So, but the other thing is I love the flexibility of it though, because you really can go. I mean, you follow the workflow. Let's just call it, right. But at any moment you can kind of deviate and pick up your own little tricks and find new things. And that's the thing, is that you never know where the data is going to lead you, right?
Right.
And it's just, you can just up the amount of success you have, because we're doing all this information to have our highest probability of success. When we use data mining, we plug that into private label, the easy way method, sourcing, and then we plug that into PPI. Right? They all kind of work together in this one flow process. And, the results are almost, I mean, I don't want to say like never, but really, it's like almost never that I have a terrible idea, because I've done all my research. I've studied for the midterm, so it works well. And, I've refined it and, and got the steps down. So you guys are all gonna, you're gonna learn that. You're gonna learn exactly. Right. What it is. I honestly don't know if I'll ever do a data mining 3 or if I'll do a course or something. It'll probably be a long time from now.
Right.
But I'm showing it tomorrow, so that's when I'm showing it.
So Abe, go up to Christy and I are answering a couple questions. Go up to the slide that shows everything. The list? The list that you get for in the ASD. Okay, right here. So Bob was asking about what's different about this from the private label, the Easy Way mentoring program. Do you want to explain
Yeah, so I mean, private label easy way mentoring program is a is a process to launch private labels using wholesale companies and the PPI method. Right now, because now we're in PPL 2.0, right? So what this is a network where we are working together. So not only that, but Christy has built you privately. So we have sourced, the way we showed you on this webinar, we have found private label friendly companies. We have called them. We have confirmed, yes, they private label, right? We filled out that spreadsheet we showed you, right? You're going to get that, right? 10 or more companies or whatever's on there, private label targets. You know they private label. You don't have to ask them because we already did, right? They do it, okay? I've made a list of, so far, 30 private label leads, private label targets. And earlier, I'm not going to go on another montage, but the leads are targets with multiple products behind every lead. But I will explain what the list means. I'll explain how to build the list. We'll explain how to build the wholesale list, right? So not only are you getting these given to you, done for you, you could take the 30 leads, go to like the Canton Fair in China. I just talked to a guy who signed up for our group today. He was going to China. He's going to miss ASD. He still signed up for this to get the list because he's going to China in 2 weeks. What do you think he's going to do with that in China, that list? I mean, he's going to clean up, So, that alone is just, to me, I mean, I think that's really an awesome things to have product targets, private label targets, the training, right? Then we have the, if you're going to the show, we have the live networking event. That's really cool. Top of the stratosphere. I mean, I'm very excited about that one.
I can show the flyer image if you want to give me the. I can do that.
So Bob, to
answer Bob's question, yes, I've made both of my data mining webinars free, and the reason I did this. Just recently, I made this. If you're in the private label mentoring group, I just made the second one free. I talked to Ryan. We made it free to the group. 2 months after I did it, which normally we wait much longer. But I did that because I feel like my process is so much better now, right? It's no longer necessary for me to sell the second one because the third, it's gone so refined, so much better. Valuable. Oh yeah, it's valuable. Yeah, it'll still work, but I'm on to the next level now, and that's going to be shown tomorrow night, right? But I just thought, like, okay, Data Mining's 2 is great. Let's give it to the group. But also, Christy's 2 webinars are in there. I have some other bonus content, and so it's just crazy overvalued. I mean, it's a different target from private label the easy way. I mean, we're using tactics in private label the easy way, but we've focused on targeting this trade show, ASD. So I hope I answered the question. I don't know if I did.
So one thing I don't think we mentioned actually about those 30 finds is that each one, Abe found a potential bundling option. Yeah. So when you look at it like that, it's potentially for 60 unique listings that you can have, and you can spend more bundles off of those, and everybody can do their own version of this, which is why it's okay to share a list, because everyone is going to look a little bit different and can look a little bit different. So, but we didn't mention that there was the bundle finds in there as well, so that makes it a 2 for 1 on each one.
Yeah, so the reason why I call them leads is because, and now I selected a possible private label and a recommendation of 2 products that I would bundle together, right? So that was like what I would do. However, the reason why I call them leads is because you're not looking, it's not product driven. We're not looking for that exact product, right? Even though I put a possible PL in there could be several different variations of that product. Colors, style, right? It could be built slightly different. But it's more about the keyword, right? So what product can you build to fit in that space that we found based on keyword research? Now, I've done a multi-level keyword research and analyzed the market on all of those first pages to make sure that it is low competition, high demand products, right? Or, within a reasonable demand. But the thing is, like, I've selected a product in a bundle, but you certainly could select 10 other bundles or 10 other variations of a bundle using different products and build them all into that same space. So every one of those leads, those gaps that I found on that list, is a potential of a number of products on each one.
Right.
So this is why search terms are game-changing for me, because this is how I source. And that's what I'm bringing to the table and showing people, is this, I want you to rethink how we should source products based on what customers search for on Amazon, right?
Yeah. So I know that we're 15 minutes past the hour, and I just want to say that, you know, well, actually, another thing I want to say, even though that's, Abe, one of his things that he was first known for was bundling. As he's talking about bundling, when I first met Abe, I remember watching one of his first YouTube videos. Maybe it wasn't one of your first, but this guy last Q4 2015 did, what was it, 30 bundles in 10 days, 3 a day. So there's that whole technique that we haven't even gotten into there about the ways that you can just bundle things. So there's a lot of opportunities. You know, we're in the Facebook group every day. So if you have questions, if you're on the fence about something, you're not really sure, ask the group. We're there. We're there every single day. We're every single day through April 15th. And we'll see you there in Vegas if you're going to be there in Vegas. So, guys, I think we've probably said all that we can say. What do you think?
Yeah, okay. No more questions? I mean, I'm having fun. I don't want to.
You can go on Facebook Live.
Good, good. Yeah, I'll have to get it all out. We'll see.
Get him going, guys. He won't stop.
Guys, I want to thank everybody for jumping on this webinar, because allowing us to do this and tell you about this, because we're really excited about it. We think it's really valuable, and we appreciate you spending time with us tonight. And I hope we gave you enough free content that even if you don't join with us, you could still make some money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.